People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in, people. Good evening to those of you in the UK. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on whoever you are and wherever you are. Now, obviously, this is a later live stream from myself. Normally, I do it much earlier. I apologize. I've had a lot of things I've had to do in my own personal life today. And simply put, people, there just hasn't been enough time. But where there's a will, there's a way. I'm here now. And yeah, man, it's Sunday. I'm sure a lot of you are in a reflective mood. I'm quite a reflective person, anyways. And obviously, when your team loses, you've got all the reflection in the world. I'm sure you all obviously watched the FA Cup or watched FA Cup action. It's a bit sad that as Arsenal fans, we're a bit sour this week. And I never like to, I'm not saying enjoy someone's misfortune, but, at least Chelsea striker didn't score a goal. That's something to banter Chelsea fans about. They're stressing us out. Obviously, I'm sure you all are just finishing watching up the Man United versus Liverpool game, and what a game that was. What a free kick for Bruno Fernandes, what a pass for Marcus Rashford for Greenwood's goal. Pogba played very well. It's quite a decent game, really and truly. Mo Salah had a couple moments in the game, Firmino as well. I think it was quite a decent game for the neutrals, and depending on what you lot make of it, is what it is. But yeah, where Arsenal are concerned, we lost. Got my tactics board. We'll get onto the tactics board or reviewing from a tactical point of view what happened yesterday, which was quite disappointing. But I'm sure a lot of you are quite wondering, when are we going to get Ødegaard? Not that I know what's happening with Ozil, as you can see in the title, and so on and so forth. So we'll crack on in a bit. Love for the 32 of you locked in anyways at the moment. Please make sure there's 32 likes. It doesn't cost a thing, people. What's Jack saying? In the building from early, delighted with the Ødegaard signing. Big up DG. Now, we can't count our chickens before it hatches, but every road seems to point towards us signing him on a temporary basis. There's no buy option. We hear Real Madrid and Arsenal, like with the Ceballos thing, they're willing to sit down in the summer. And again, Ødegaard will have a lot to think about, because if Zidane's there, that might tell you might have to move on. Obviously, if he's moved on, a new manager might give you an opportunity at Real Madrid. The one thing he has to do is obviously play well to prove that that should be the case. We know you're a talented player, but being a talented, it's almost average being a talented player at Real Madrid. Talent is what gets you through the door. You might be special at Arsenal, special elsewhere, but Real Madrid, you should be a top player. You should be a top prospect, in whatever division and country you're coming in from prior to Madrid. So that's not enough. As we know, the signing of Ødegaard is something of mutual benefit. It will give us some options creativity-wise. We can play him with Smith Rowe. We can play him instead of Smith Rowe. It kind of eases the burden on him. Obviously, we need someone in that role. So he gets a platform to play. We get a player that might help us with our short-term gains. It is what it is. Whether we're going to buy him permanently or even have the chance to, or even have the money to, remains to be seen. We're now out of the FA Cup, and that's an opportunity to make Europe in its own right. So again, will there be that? Are we just taking Ødegaard on a loan basis at this moment in time to buy us some time towards scouting for the summer and maybe moving for another guy? I don't know. Time will tell. But one thing's for sure, we have a plan. Now the market is coming to an end, but there's still a long time a long time in terms of it. So again, there might be a surprise. We hear there's talk of going for Ryan Bertrand and whatnot. You'd imagine if we was going for him, the perfect time to speak to his advisors or people connected with Southampton and people that can actually make a difference would be when we've just played them at St. Mary's. We actually are staying in a hotel, so there's probably a lot of time for executives to get acquainted with each other. But in relation to Mesut Ozil, let's cover Mesut Ozil first, people. Let me share the infamous screen with you. This actually isn't Mesut Ozil, this is Ødegaard stuff. So in relation to Mesut Ozil, first and foremost, what we already know has been officially confirmed. He's been a Fenerbache player in my eyes, and I know a lot of you lot's eyes for a number of days, but official confirmation, I's have been dotted, T's have been crossed. It brings to end, sadly, someone we should be speaking about from a purely footballing sense. Mesut Ozil, a maverick in that role. A mercurial player, a mercurial talent. A lovely assist king. He's a technical footballer. If you really understand football, you understand Mesut Ozil is a good player. You can have your criticisms, but you understand there's few that can do his thing. He's truly left his hallmark in this game, and I think he's been a good player for Arsenal. That being said, when you think of Mesut Ozil and Arsenal, the one word that follows me or comes to mind for me, drama. Whether Ozil's in the right, Arsenal in the right, Arsenal's wrong, Ozil's wrong, we're here time and time again for reasons. other than just playing football and showing you're a quality player. So for me, it brings to end the drama. It brings to end someone that can be scapegoated, someone that whether he plays or not is always a talking point at this football club, and it's something to be said. So for me, you can leave with your head held high. I'm pretty sure you and a number of Arsenal fans, you didn't expect his last game to be, and whenever it was, people, I'd love to know when his actual last game it was for this football club. I'm sure a lot of people are happy to see the back of you, and they're allowed to believe that because, you know, there's been a lot of excuses and a lot of reasons as to why you can't play. Equally, you know, I'm sure the club has dug you out as well. Be keen to see the fallout and in time to come what really happened. But for what it's worth with Mesut Ozil has joined Turkish Super League side Fenerbahce in a permanent transfer. As you can see, our technical director said in relation to Mesut, we thank Mesut for his huge contribution to Arsenal. He has made over 250 appearances, played in 3 FA Cup final wins, and has given fans and everyone at the club many wonderful moments on the pitch since he joined us in 2013. Now, why couldn't you let the man actually play a football game for us and say bye properly? But we'll never know. We would like to thank Mesut and his team for their professionalism during our recent negotiations. I know everybody associated with Arsenal will join me in wishing Mesut and his family the best of health, success and happiness in the next chapter of his career. His former teammate and briefly former manager Mikel Arteta said on that, Mesut's achievements at Arsenal are undisputed. It was a privilege to play alongside him and more recently coach him. His creativity and vision led to many goals during his time in an Arsenal shirt. Mesut was at the heart of many great moments of this football club over the years, including those 3 FA Cup final wins. These successes will always be part of our history. We thank Mesut and wish him all the best with Fenerbahce. Mesut himself has said, I'd like to thank the club for this amazing journey over the past 7.5 years. The support I have felt from the team and fans during my time here has been truly incredible and something I'll always be grateful for. Together, we won trophies for the first time in years and created memories that will last a lifetime. The fans will forever remain in my heart. I'd like to thank Edu Gaspar for helping to bring about a professional and dignified solution in the past few days. And I wish everyone at the club, the best in their attempt to continue to bring Arsenal back to the top where we belong. So again, it's all a bit of, from initially, you know, fair play, credit to Mesut Ozil, take care, you know, congratulations on your move and actually able to continue as a footballer. But a bit of it is PR. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, Ozil's not happy, not keen to see them again. And likewise, again, bit of PR, you know, saying we all know once a Gooner, always a Gooner and things like that. And it's the end now, you know, we've been wage carts, Gunnosaurus, Emre, the club not backing him allegedly when he came out. We'll never know what happened, but either way, it's an end to those sort of things. So that's what's said in relation to Arsenal.com. Away from that, and I'm sure you've all seen Mesut Ozil's piece on his own Twitter account, people. And first and foremost, he said, "Dear Gunners, 7.5 years, nearly 3,000 days. It feels strange to be writing this message after such a long time here in London. Since the moment I arrived, it has felt like home. I was welcomed with open arms by all the Arsenal staff, my teammates, and most importantly, the incredible fans. I'll always be grateful for the trust placed in me by Arsene Wenger in September of 2013. I've grown up as an adult in North London, a place I'll always call home. I'll never forget that. Being with Arsenal for so long has meant I've experienced a big mix of ups and downs over 250 games, set 44 goals and 71 assists later. It's time that Arsenal and I finally part ways." Pretty hard felling, people. Together, we ended the club's 9-year trophy drought and brought long-needed silverware back to fans who deserve it. It's difficult for me to put into words the love I feel for this club and the fans. How could I possibly describe 8 years of gratitude in a single letter? Whilst I may no longer be playing for the club, I'll always continue to support them in every game they play. I'll always be a Gunner for life, no doubt about that. Now more than ever, we all must be behind the team. This season is a tough one for every team in the Premier League, and that is why we must all back the current team and staff, no matter the results. Again, people, I'm sure you have all seen as well the numerous players he played with at Arsenal, all saying, you know, I want to say condolences, but that's not the right word. Their well wishes to Mesut Ozil. He said, "For me, it's been amazing to see some of the boys from Haylen coming through into the first team setup. As we all know, they are the future of our club, and I wish them every success. Hearing my name chanted around the Emirates will forever give me goosebumps, and the memories I've made putting on this jersey will stick with me for life. Much has been written about my time at Arsenal, especially in recent months. Arsenal is a club of class and prestige. Not at the moment. Something that I felt every time I walked onto the pitch. Players, staff, and management always come and go, but the club's values and fans will remain forever. I feel personally in the last few years, a lot of the touch of class that has made us Arsenal, both shown in how you've been handled, whether rightly or wrongly, and in many different aspects, has not been that we expect from this football club. But bit of PR. He's not going to say anything bad. He said, the principles of class, respect, dignity must never be forgotten. It is a responsibility of every single person from the football club to make sure they carry out their job in the name of these values. Now, that's true, and I don't think it's shots, but I do think that's sinister ways of having shots. He also said, as I said, the past few months haven't been the easiest. Like every player, I want to play every minute of football for my team. In life, however, things do not always play out how we expect or how we want them to. True, but it's important to look for the positives in life and not the negative, which is why I try to live with no regrets and holding no grudges. Being at Arsenal was more than just football. It was about a community. As much as I tried to assist on the pitch, I tried to be part of the London community as much as I could too. And that's true, but this also almost gives me the impression like, okay, cool. You know what? I've been hard done by. I'm not going to hold any grudges for the way the club treated me. I'd love to have said bye to the fans and things along those lines. But quite the heartfelt letter from Mesut Ozil. The last bit of it said, North London took me in as one of its own, and every season I embarked on a different project to bring happiness to this incredible community. Although I might be leaving North London, this will never stop. It might be the end of a chapter, but my connection with this amazing club will never fade. It might be bye for now, but it's not goodbye forever. To the Arsenal fans around the world, yah, Gunners, yah, Mesut. Take care, Mesut Ozil. Big up yourself. But either way, people, moving on from that, that's the end of Mesut Ozil in relation to Arsenal. Probably the last time ever have to speak about Donny. Love to see that you're all in here. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Like Yohan has said, DG Nation, we live. So that's it in relation to Mesut, people. Let's not even get into it. Moving away from that, and in relation to Ødegaard, people, if I quickly scan over here, the latest I saw versus on the Athletic versus the Ødegaard news elsewhere, it said Arsenal have agreed to sign Ødegaard on loan from Real Madrid until the end of the season, report David Ornstein and James Nicholas. The 22-year-old is set to become Arsenal's second acquisition of the January window after they recruited Brighton goalkeeper Matt Ryan. Ødegaard would also be their second loan leave from Real Madrid this season, obviously alongside Dani Ceballos. The Athletic understands Ødegaard is scheduled to arrive in London later on Sunday, and he'll undergo a medical on Monday. The player has an elite sportsman exemption, which means he will not have to isolate before joining the squad as long as he returns a negative COVID test. So that's crucial. You know, he's able to integrate very quickly into things, provided he, but God willing, he doesn't have COVID, which probably means, again, even in the ideal world, he's probably arrived in London already or is in the process of arriving. I'm not too sure if his flight or anything has been affected by the weather you've seen over here in the UK, much less London over the last couple of hours. It's been snowing. He might be here already. He might not. I'm not saying anything. I'm just throwing that out there. Or even if he is here, how much has the weather put a sort of scale back to when the other necessary processes are going to take place? But you'd imagine in an ideal world, the process is simply just comes over to London today. He probably has a bit more talks directly or indirectly with those necessary parties. Tomorrow, he probably just stays in his hotel, gets some food and whatnot. Tomorrow is where he completes the necessary protocols to sign for this football club on a temporary basis, and then you'd imagine there is some announcement tomorrow before, obviously by Monday evening, because again, you would want this to kind of be wrapped up before the Southampton game. Again, we could announce it after the Southampton game, but you'd imagine the quicker you announce this on the Monday, okay, cool, he's come here on loan, how does he fit into the team, blah, blah, blah. We can kind of park that to the side the next day for Southampton. And he probably won't be involved in Southampton. He's coming to London. He's doing tests. He'd have to then travel up to Southampton to be part of the squad, people, which he might be. We might do that. Or what I expect to happen is he'll sign for the club. He'll probably do some training isolated or with the 23s until we come back from the Southampton game, because we are staying up. Well, we have stayed up there. Again, he could go down there. In relation to when he's involved, I think, at earliest, he'll probably be involved at Man United, be on the bench for the Man United game at the Emirates on Sunday, next Sunday at best. Again, I don't know. He might very well play tomorrow. Well, 2 days time against Southampton. I think that's naive. Crucially, he's able to hit the ground running and integrate very quickly, provided he doesn't test positive for COVID. So again, probably tomorrow we'll know more in relation to the Ødegaard deal. And again, and then the quicker we do that, I guess more attention will naturally filter through towards, are we going to sign Ryan Bertrand, or is there going to be another left back of some stature coming into this club? People, only time will tell. But that's that in relation to that. So I can quickly click off that. I had no plans of speaking about this, but literally just when I typed in Arsenal on Google, there's another day, another piece of Lucas Torreira nonsense. And again, I'm just going to go to the thick of it, people. I'm pretty sure you're all bored of this as well. It's gone to say that, Fiorentina are set to make a take it or leave it offer to Arsenal and are in definite contact over signing the player. The offer would insist on a loan until the end of the current season and then a compulsory purchase price, which wouldn't exceed 11 million. Now, I know he's contracted until 2023, so we need to know what we're doing in the next 18 months with him. But to sell him for 11 million euros would be at a loss. At worst, you'd imagine we can break even. Now, again, he's probably not as worth, just based on how his stock, before he came to Arsenal to how he's left Arsenal on a temporary basis, he hasn't increased his stature. If it was a stock, it would have went up and then it would have fluctuated, and now it's just gone down. It's been a bit of a fall in grace. He hasn't been able to play consistently at Arsenal under numerous managers. Hasn't happened for him at Simeone. Now, I know he's at Atletico under Simeone. Now, we all know he's a good player, but by that logic, of course, your resale value, rightly so, Florentino say, well, don't know what you're talking about, but he's not the same player that you bought from Sampdoria. So it makes sense. If we can get a loan fee from partway through the season, similar to Ødegaard, apparently we're paying a couple of million to him, to Real Madrid, 2.5 million. Can we get something like that from Florentino? Which, again, you add that 2.5, you add this compulsory purchase clause, provided it did happen. Again, it makes it more than 11, but it's still a loss. And to be fair, you'd imagine Torreira would have to be the one to force his way to move, because you have seen that, Edu basically said if the player isn't happy, we'll sort it out, sort of thing. And you'd imagine there might be time to delegate towards Torreira doing that, to be fair with you, with obviously Saliba on loan, Kolasinac, Socrates, and the rest of them. We've dealt with several transfer people that we need to move on, and several people's futures at this club. So there might be time to do that. Personally, I think he stays the season at Atletico, but who knows, people. So that's that in relation to Torreira. One thing that seems to definitely be ruled out, though, is returning to this club in any capacity mid-season. So away from that, also circling back on Ødegaard, this was in the aftermath of our defeat yesterday against Southampton. When asked on how close to signing Ødegaard essentially we are, he said, I don't know. Obviously, we played today. So since last night, I don't have any news. Probably I'll get a few phone calls today and we'll see where we are with every deal. So that might mean, the Bertrand deals. That might have meant at the time Mesut Ozil, and it's obviously come out now. That obviously could have meant Ødegaard as well. There might even be something else going in the background that we don't know about, people. But that's that in relation to that, people. Moving away from that, what are you guys saying, people? I've seen a I know Mesut Ozil's left this club, but it's like I tried to leave this club as well. I clicked the exit button, people, by mistake. Shout out to you lot, people. What are you guys saying in the comments? You scroll up. Big up yourself, Slim. Big up yourself, Omar. You said you can't be here. Unfortunately, it's late and I need to be up early tomorrow. Fair play. Go to bed, my guy. Not everything needs to be explained. Ethan has said Lucas Torreira is leaving Atletico and can return to Arsenal to find a new club. Monaco takes care of it, offering the player a 3-year deal. Well, if Monaco give us this 20-odd million that we spent on him, you can have him, to be fair with you. Monaco, maybe not so much now, but they had a bit of a reputation of, young players going there, players that aren't really giving any love going there and finding their feet again, people. So we'll have to see. It is what it is in that regards. And I wonder why. I would love to know why specifically that move hasn't quite worked out for him, people. What has Marcus Cooper said? Williams simply can't start a game again. Arteta has to stop this madness. Then loan Eddie, sell El Nene, not good enough. Fair enough, Marcus. I don't know why William keeps playing. Personally, I feel your pain in that regards, but it's got to the point where I don't even look at William anymore. I ask him questions of why he's doing stuff. But again, like he's not picking himself, and you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And it just shows that we know we need a first choice 11. That's the priority, but we just don't have the depth at this football club. So rotation at this moment in time seems to be almost a luxury that we can't have, people, or a luxury that we're unable to play. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. Somebody said the title is wrong. Let me assess that. Yeah, it is. Where's the R? What's going on with the copy and paste of Odegaard's name? Let's fix that right now. Apologies, people. Apologies. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. And I know I've spoken about the Southampton game already, people, but it's like when I think of that Southampton game, it kind of leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because I think what if, I'll get my tactics board in a sec. There really is not that much to discuss in relation to that game. We know that they're a well-drilled unit. We know they're a well-organized team. We know they have danger, man. I'd say the only saving grace is we didn't concede a couple more. I do think we flattered Southampton a great deal just by simply not turning up. But that's football for you, people. And we're going to speak about that in a sec, but I want to see a bit more of what you lot are saying in the comment, man. S&D said tonight was meant to be date night with the missus. Deluded got me hooked on the conversation, man. Hey, my guy. Please go and do what you need to do with the missus, man. Go and do what you do with the missus. I don't want people disliking my videos. I don't want people saying I'm the reason for their relationship breaking down. So everything's in moderation. I'll be here by the time you come back, man. I appreciate the kind words. Apparently we're looking at Omar Richards. I wouldn't mind that at all. It seemed to be nailed on going Bayern Munich for whatever reason. It seems that he's clearly not. Again, you'd imagine, between losing him for free to Bayern Munich in the summer because he can agree and move abroad, or maybe taking a couple million quid from us, logically, it surely makes sense to sell him to us. And we might even, I would say we might even say keep him to the end of the year and we'll take him. But we haven't got any depth really at left back beyond asking Bukayo Saka. Like, if I'm real with you, the only option I really believe in if Tierney is not fit is Bukayo Saka. I don't mind the Maitland-Niles thing here and there. He has played well there. Cedric, I'm sure, could play well there, or he could play like he did yesterday. I hear that players can do a job there, but to a degree, you kind of want an out-and-out man there. Saka more or less looks like an out-and-out guy there, but you'd rather him, playing on the left wing, or what he's currently found himself doing, playing right wing and playing quite well there. Out-and-out Gunners has said, Deluded, would you sign Ødegaard in the summer if we had the opportunity for like under 30 mil? Well, under 30 mil is a bit ambiguous, my guy. That could be 29.99 sort of thing. But under 30 mil, the way you put the question, it sounds like a deal. Personally, it sounds like a good deal. But at the same time, it all depends what he does. I'm sure if you was to ask me that question when we signed Ceballos, I might have said the same. And it sounds logically, but it's all about what he shows us. If he doesn't show us anything, I want him to play to the standard where we're looking at Zidane or Real Madrid and we're saying, I don't know why you lot loaned him to us, but you lot are stupid. How could this player not have got any opportunities? We've always got to make it like, how is he not playing? How did he find his way at Arsenal? And in a nice way, that's not me saying my club's a stepping stone. That's in an ideal world, that's what we want to see. Because if he plays like that, by that logic, he should be either getting goals or assists or deciding the Arsenal game for us. So if he does stuff like that, by all means, we'll have the discussion about buying him. Would have liked to have seen a buying clause, but it is what it is. Robo said Odegaard might have a flying start or a poor start. Well, he kind of only has to. He can only go two ways. He can either start well or start poorly, my guy. Big up yourself nonetheless. Like my guy has said, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. At least Torreira is better than El Nene, true, but Torreira didn't seem to have adjusted to life in London, so it seems to be it is what it is in that regards. He's gone to Fenerbahce, man. So it is what it is in relation to Ozil. And also, that's an interesting point, Ben 10. We need to remember this guy's physical fitness. I don't know if he hasn't played in a month, but I just know he's played 10 games. So he's had minimal minutes. He's not been consistent. We're going to need to see how he is in training. And we're going to need to see how we're going to need to see how much fitness he actually has in the legs. And we're going to need him to shake off any rustiness. At the same time, as much as I believe that, and I'm sure all of you a lot can see the logic, he's not our player. There's no permanent option. He's not a permanent signing. He's a loan option, and we spent 2.5 million for him. Again, that is obviously less than if he was going to commit to definitely signing him permanently or definitely signing anyone else. But we need him to hit the ground running, and we're only going to see that. And I think for me, when I think about someone hitting the ground running, I have to know how they are mentally. And I don't know what Ødegaard's like mentally. I know what he is in terms of he's a good footballer, he can pass the ball, but I'm not too sure in terms of his mentality. He's not gonna. I would love him to be like Bruno Fernandes, and I'm not here to make this the Bruno Fernandes show, but obviously Bruno's a good player and he scored today. But did you hear the way he was talking in the build up to that game? Obviously he was talking directly about Liverpool and vaguely where United were, but just the way he was speaking to BBC or specifically Gary Lineker, it showed that he had elite mentality. So I'm not really surprised when you got elite mentality and you switched on technically as to why he hit the ground running. I want to see the mentality from Ødegaard, because on the face of it, I'm inclined to believe your mentality is elite, because you could have stayed at Real Madrid. You're technically a Real Madrid player. You're on the bench and all these things, but you wanted a bit more. You want to be better than you was yesterday. You took the harder option. Again, there's more scrutiny here. Again, it's a bit different, but you always know, especially to us England fans, where we might be watching La Liga or whatever, or these leagues, and we're not watching them with scrutiny. There's no hiding place, and you see what a player's firmly like. Even the Wolves are out for someone like Thiago of Liverpool. He's a baller, but obviously when you're not surrounded by them ballers at Bayern Munich, you have to look. There's more eyes on you as an individual, and that's going to happen to him at Arsenal, because we're looking. Listen, on a good day when we're poor, Smith Rowe's been in the first team. Obviously not 5 minutes, but in relation to playing a significant part this season, he's been in the first team 5 minutes and he's not been involved the last game. And evidently you can see why. Only time will tell if Ødegaard can place himself in that same regard. So we'll have to see, man. But it's all about what he can do, man. What is ain't worried about nothing is said. Well said, DG. He did have a great time at Real Sociedad, my guy. He did, and that's why, he took a hard option. He went there and he's playing. So we'll have to see, people. Apparently reliable Spain reporters said if Ødegaard does well, he would rather stay at Arsenal permanently than go back to Real Madrid. I'm not too sure about that, my guy. Again, I'm pretty sure he would have the decision to make. I mean, if Zidane stays as the Real Madrid gaffer, then he might think, you know what, I might as well leave permanently. But his first goal is to make it at Real Madrid. Clearly, he signed a new deal not too long ago. He could have probably said, you know what, I want to leave and go to Sociedad permanently. So while I believe on one hand it would, we never know. I think there is a possibility. Again, he hasn't played for the team. There is a possibility he could stay permanently. There's a possibility he could go back to Real Madrid and it could happen for him, but we don't know. And plus, regardless of what the reporters are saying, a lot of things are being said. He wanted to go to Sociedad. He didn't want to go to Arsenal. He wanted to go to Arsenal. He didn't want to go to Sociedad. Real Madrid see this and that. There's a lot of whispers. Nobody knows exactly what Ødegaard's thinking, Again, how could he say he would rather stay at Arsenal than go back to Real Madrid if you don't know what you don't know how you're going to find London living here. You don't know how you're going to find the gaffer. You don't know how you're going to feel. You don't know anything really, man. So we'll have to see, man. King James has said Ødegaard will get bullied in the Prem. Let's hope not, but let's see, man. It's hard. It's down to him to prove you wrong. Ben 10 is saying more progressive passes per 90 minute than Messi. That's crazy, But I just care about what you're doing in 90 minutes for Arsenal Football Club, I just want to see you pass the ball forward properly, man. Torreira leaving Arsenal for Monaco. Again, I keep seeing a lot of you say that, but I need to see some concrete, He's leaving for another club every window, people. Just by typing in his name, Arsenal are still studying a swap deal with Atletico. Monaco have requested Lucas Torreira, and the La Liga club is open to freeing him up. And that's according to Italian reports. There's Florentina, take it or leave it, as we previously said. Torreira's 24. This constant moving around and constant speculation in your future, it's not good. You're 24. The next 2 years are crucial. Don't you want to be in your prime at 26? Kind of have to ask yourself what he's saying, man. Who knows, man? 352 coach has said, I'm from Scotland and not happy that you or they say that Kearney is the best since Ashley. No clue what you're asking me, my guy, but big up yourself regardless. Shout out you. Hey, you're back to you. Hit the like button, man, and don't hit DG. No one can hit me. No boy can't bad me up for no reason. What do you think this is? Anyways, shout out yourself. Shout out to you, Kareem, man. So yeah, we'll have to see in relation to Torreira and all these guys, man. We'll have to see. Shakiba said the disrespect from comparisons with Dennis Suarez. Well, I can't blame. I feel you, but I can't blame fans in it. Cause the loan signings for us ain't popped too often. It's up to him. Does he want to be Dennis Suarez or does he want to be held in higher regard in Arsenal folklore on a temporary basis for as long as he's here? You know, these 6 months or whatever, you know, they're what he makes it. They're what he makes it. And for me, it's all about the mentality, man. It's all about the mentality. It's literally just about the mentality. His mentality, you know, I know we've had players and we'll continue to have players that are good technically, that can pass a ball on a sixpence, but I need to see the mentality. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. And what fans need to do, they can't look to Ødegaard to be the Messiah, you know. We can't look to Ødegaard to be the Messiah. We can't look at him and think he's going to fix all our problems in terms of creativity, because what happens when we're in that same low block and he's there unable to break it down? We need several things. We need movement. We need other players that will take the game by the balls and say, okay, cool, I'll play a difficult pass as well. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But mentality, that's the first thing I want to see if I can assess that with Ødegaard. James has said next few games are going to be tough, but I'm actually more confident. Arteta seems to do better when we're underdogs and playing better teams. Let's hope so, my guy. Let's hope so, my guy. AFC Bell tweeted DG. AFC Bell tweeted DG. Jack, calm down, my guy. Calm down, my guy. Unless he said that we've signed Lionel Messi, relax, broski. Relax, broski. Come on, man. Floating about the Emirates, you know, man. In your opinion, Deluded, can we make top 6? How long's a piece of string? Mathematically, it's still possible. So while things are still mathematically possible, you need to, you know, you need to have a chance. So that make of that what you will. Only time will tell. Us up to Arsenal if they want it. You know, if they can put form together, the world is their oyster. You lot have been on to me, AFC Bells tweeting, AFC Bells tweeting, AFC Bells tweeting. This is about Balogun. What's this? Oh, I'm tired of speaking about Balogun. Shout out to Balogun, but that's dead. What have we said here? Ødegaard is on his way to London. Meanwhile, a binding and complete agreement between Arsenal and Real Madrid. 6-month loan facility with no purchase offer. 2 million euros for the loan, including incentives. Tomorrow's medical. More talks next summer to map out the next stage. And to be fair with you, you know, Ødegaard, Arsenal and Real Madrid have a lot. Real Madrid might say, do you know what, we want to sell him and make money. No, we want him to be part of our first team. Arsenal might say, do you know what, we don't want him permanently. No, we want him to stay. Ødegaard might say, do you know what, I want to go back to Sociedad. I've been on loan at another club. I've been doing the Real Madrid thing. I want to go back to Sociedad, either permanently or on loan. I want to go elsewhere. I like the Premier League, but I don't like Arsenal. I want to join another Premier League team. No, I want to go back to Real Madrid. Everybody's got a lot to consider. And these next 6 months, again, it will make things, you know, the best thing Ødegaard can do when he does complete this move, you know, after tomorrow's medical and all these I's are dotted and T's across, is just play well. Simple as that, man. You know. So yeah, man. I mean, it's a bit of an overkill, mate, Jack. You know, Jack. I thought we said a madness is gonna happen. It's more or less the same thing covered by the Athletic. Shout out AFC Bell, though, man. How do you feel about Ødegaard joining? Well, as long as a player is not permanent here, I do wonder of their commitment. I'm not saying Ødegaard isn't committed to Arsenal, but he's not here permanently. If things go tough, or he comes here and certain things that have been happening here happen, what's his bottle like? Is he going to just almost be of the mindset that, you know what, I know I'm a Real Madrid player, but for these 6 months, I might as well be permanent player at Arsenal, you know, and behave like that? Or is he going to roll up his sleeves and his socks and whatnot? Or is he going to say, you know, I'm not really on this. I just got to ride out these 6 months. I hope he's on playing well, because, again, it's a bit like Torreira at Atletico. When you go to a next club and it's not happening for you, I then have to look at you, because, again, at one club, you can say, oh, Zidane, he's not playing him, he's not giving his chance and whatnot. But if you make a move, definitely to a team where Real Madrid is still poor, but they're a Champions League club, we're not, you know, and you're still not playing for whatever reason, surely logically has to say, well, everybody can't be wrong. Everybody can't be wrong in having the concerns. Why aren't you playing? So I'm keen to see how committed he is to the cause, how consistent he is. Like I said, if I'm Ødegaard personally, as you know, it's in my best interest to play well. I'm coming here with a sort of healthy, smug bravado in that. I'm Ødegaard from Real Madrid. I'm going to show you how to do things. And if he does that, the world's his oyster. And I'm happy he comes. Obviously, I'm happy we've signed him because, again, it's not permanent, but we now have some more creative options, central created options. It relieves the burden of Smith Rowe, like you saw against Southampton. If Smith Rowe's not involved one game and Ødegaard is, then there shouldn't be that much of a creative void on paper. Again, once again, on paper. So yeah, man. Duncan has said, yo, deluded. With yesterday's lineup, a part of me feels Mikel is low-key looking for full focus on the league. We're like 7 points off top four. No, well, again, the league is a marathon, so he should be, the target should be on staying, as high as we can, obviously clawing back some points, putting some bit of respect on our name that we can. But again, all I'd say is you have to win on Tuesday or it's for nothing, really, because I still think I'm not, like I said, I don't critique making rotations, but I think to the scale we did it need to happen. I'm sure Danny Ings is going to play. Danny Ings is going to play on Tuesday, having played 86 minutes against us. Personally, I'd prefer, if Partey is fit but not fit for the 90. I'm no manager and I don't know the fitness levels, but I'd prefer, bringing on Partey stunk of desperation. In an ideal world, we would have loved to have won this game and the likes of Partey and whatnot have the full day off. So if you have any concerns, surely Partey starts. You start Partey. If anything, you take him off 50, 60 minutes. What do I know? Obviously, the Willian experiment is a bit of a madness. On one hand, we needed rotation. It's the perfect opportunity to try and build his confidence up and also give him some minutes and also rest players. But some players in this football club, it's at the point now, I'm not looking at them anymore. They're poor footballers. They're not picking themselves. They're giving you the same old. So it was a bunch of things, but we're going to get into the tactics very briefly in literally a second, people. August has said, would you rather Buendia on a permanent or Ødegaard on a permanent? Or our Buendia, Ødegaard. But again, if Ødegaard comes in, he starts lighting up the Emirates, everything can change, man. Everything can change. So we must get Grealish in the summer. Hopefully there's 80 million there for you, my guy. Hopefully there's 80 million there, man. Bro, any transfer update? Just seems to be the same old recycled names, John. The same old Bertrands, Buendia, Arawa. Torreira's named every day. He's linked with a new team. Same old, really and truly. I saw the most interesting one I saw is we was linked with Nathan Collins of Stoke. Decent centre half, to be fair with you. Developing quite well. He's predominantly played at right back as well. He's decent, but we've been linked with him. I'm not too sure if there's any truth in that. We was previously linked with the goalkeeper at Swansea, Woodman. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I saw. Like, I ain't worried about nothing. It said there's 126 likes, 260 people watching. Please make the appropriate changes, people. Facts. Bro, we're not in a tricky situation with William. We're just fucked, mate. Pardon my language, because big contract, big length in terms of the years, underperforming. Who's taking him? If you want him to go to another club, you're not getting a transfer fee, and we got him for free. Cool. He's gonna want his wages somewhere. If William pushes for it, then he might help you out. But he might say, cool, I'll leave and join whatever team. You make sure you give me compensation. So, or we might have to do the costly thing, which we've done with Socrates and Ozil, and buy up their contracts, which again, if you have to keep it, it shows that you can't sell players. And again, I'm not getting at the club because obviously it's difficult to sell Socrates. Nobody's buying Ozil and all these things, but you've got yourself into this situation. So that tells me you can't sell. You obviously know the contracts that you're giving out are the wrong ones. The practices you're going about are the wrong ones. B, you can't sell players. And obviously, again, if you're having to make the same old mistake of buying people's contracts out, surely that's going to hit you in the pocket because you've had to You've arguably spent 9 million just based in the last week, just because we heard 2 to 2.5 for Ødegaard, 7 million in terms of compensation to Ozil. So that's 9.5 million, people, arguably, that's in thin air, because obviously I'm not critiquing Ozil leaving. We needed to pay him up, but we made that mistake. Do you get it? 2.5 million for Ødegaard. So there's 9 million that, come the summer, through Ozil leaving and Ødegaard Ødegaard at this moment in time not being permanent, we can't kind of trace where that is. Do you get? So again, we need to learn from our mistakes. Will we? I'm not sure. Tia said the MLS would take Willian like Miami FC. Well, I agree with that, but at the same time, why did he reject that? How lucrative was Arsenal's offer to make him not go there? You know, we know London and staying in London, and his family didn't want to move him. He didn't want to move his family from London was a big part. But I'm sure money talks. And to be fair with you, I'm sure if the dream was so good enough from MLS and or whoever was linked with him, Miami, LA Galaxy, or wherever, I'm sure he'd do it. So what did we tempt him with staying here? What did we tempt him with? Who knows? Michael has said no point in getting excited about a potential great player playing for. Don't think you've said the rest. Ødegaard will take time to adapt. He probably will, but again, he's here for 6 months. We can't really have 3 months of adaptation period, to be fair. The season will probably be wrapped up more than we know already. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards firmly, man. I already have, and I've refreshed the page. Nothing new came up, my guy. John has said, if Arteta wins the Europa League and finishes lower than last season, will that count as a successful season? And where do you want us to finish this season? Well, where do I want us to finish this season? Like every Arsenal fan, I want us to win the league, but I want us to obviously get top 4 or minimum top 6. Who wouldn't? I would love that to be the case. So that's what I'd want. If he wins Europa League and finishes lower than last season, then from a domestic point of view, obviously it's a failure specifically to the league. Generally, I would say it's a successful season because A, he's won a trophy, he's won a European trophy, and B, the overriding factor is this club wants Champions League football. Whether we're just in it to participate, mainly the finances from those above fan level and stuff, that would, no matter what way he does it, you know, why was last season kind of sugarcoated as somewhat ending on a positive? Is it because Arteta came and there was togetherness and an FA Cup win and stuff? Yes, but what came along with that FA Cup win? Being in Europe, you know, and we might not be in Europe because we're out of that FA Cup now. I hope we go to the Europa League final and things like that, but we have to deal with Benfica in front of us. And obviously, you know, finishing in the top 6 is very difficult domestically. As long as it's mathematically possible, you have to try, people. You have to try. You know, I do feel you to a degree. If we win Europe, for him, it doesn't really matter. For me, it does. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be sour. Of course, I'm going to be gassed. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to say it's positives. We can do some things with it, but I'm very big on the league because, as you lot know, you know, we go through little patches as we've done, but we have not for years, to put it nicely, over a 38-game period, shown real consistency of a serious club with serious ambitions. You know, the talking and walking haven't correlated at this football club, so we'll have to see. Tyler has said, what do you think about selling Pepe? Is it good or bad? Well, you know what? If you can get 30 million, which you probably won't, then why not? I would like to persist with him a bit more. You know, I do think the platform could be a bit better and there's a bit more Arteta could do. But at the same time, he shows you flashes of brilliance and then he shows you that his football IQ isn't there. The football intelligence just isn't there. And to a degree, I do think you can hold his hand and stuff. But then I look at a 25-year-old footballer and I think some of the things I'm requiring from you shouldn't have to tell a footballer. How much teaching can you do? And it doesn't seem like the penny's dropping for Pepe. He clearly is receptive. He's improved defensively and he has improved, but it's a dangerous, you know, you can only have one of Williams or one of Pepe's, you know, obviously different problems fundamentally. In fact, the same problem in that they're not doing the business and there's question marks, you know, different stages of their careers. You can afford for one, not that you can afford for it, but you can kind of deal with one, you know, you can deal with one. But when you have two, they're two expensive mistakes. You know, if William was doing half his job and Pepe wasn't, we could say, all right, cool, we hold the L. You know, if Pepe was doing his job and William wasn't, we'd say, all right, cool. When you look at both of them, it's two problems. It's two elephants in the rooms and they're both contracted for a significant period of time. You know, you either pay up Williams' contract or somehow perform a Houdini thing and get him off this wage books at this club, or you somehow look to recoup something for Pepe, whether that's a loan with an option to buy or whatever, between Pepe for 72 million, Kepa for 80. I'm keen to see what both them London clubs do to recoup value. You know, at this moment, might as well just keep Pepe for the squad, really, and just adjust our expectations and accept that he's not the 72 million man. You know, it's not going to happen like that, and just take it for what it is, man. The man's a 20-30 million pound player at this moment in time. Slim has said, could being out of Europe be a positive? I personally don't think the players we need to attract don't come to us for Europa League. I still think we can attract players. I don't think it can be a positive personally. I hear the logic in you. We're playing once a week and all of these sort of things, but I don't see how. 9 times out of 10, we're playing up until it gets to the serious rounds of Europa. We're not even playing the strongest team, so it's not really relevant. And B, obviously, from a finance point of view, if we're struggling when we're in Europa League, European football to get top targets, how much are we going to be in more trouble when there isn't? So personally, I feel when you break it down from a just purely footballing point of view, I see the logic. But for me, no, because again, not being in Europe, I don't see it as a positive, because that means you haven't qualified in a position of European football. In the same way we drop down a level from not being a Champions League club to a Europa League club, and you drop below out of Europe full stop, that screams regression and not progression. So I hear the logic, my dude, but I just can't get my head around, around condoning it. Do you get what I'm saying? And you've also said, do you think we need to sell William? Because I think he's a bit too bad for a team. Unless he steps up, we should sell him. Bro, just let him go for free, man. Just let him go for free. Like, honestly, just let him go for free, because you're not gonna get a permanent offer for Donny. I personally can't see anybody coming for him on a permanent one, people. Very briefly, let's talk about Southampton. Now, there isn't much to talk about from a tactical point of view, people, but I will nonetheless. Please tell me if you can still hear me when you see this mic move, people. Please tell me you can still hear me properly. Can you not still hear me? Well, that was stupid. Like, I'd have to stay here. As you can see, tactics board. Man is saying, I can't remember us in the Champions League. Hasn't worked for William. Big DG, big up yourself, Jay. You always say, I really appreciate the commitment levels. Big up yourself, that guy, and obviously yourself as well for saying you can hear me now. I didn't really want to do a tactical review because, again, I wanted to see what Southampton had for us twice, but I think you lot all saw it in it. We didn't take our chances. The minimum chances we had against Southampton, we didn't take them. We didn't really create chances. It's another game where you didn't test Fraser Foster. Yeah, obviously, you saw a couple chances from Eddie Nketiah. Didn't test him, We didn't test him. You don't shoot, you don't score. We didn't do what we needed to do. So, again, I wouldn't describe Southampton yesterday as a low block either, people, but we struggled to break down a team that are good defensively and have a good unit. I think we couldn't play out from the back as well. I think we did it at times, but I think their pressing was very well. Obviously, we didn't win our individual battles. Obviously, we're switching off, and it was just a poor game. We played like a bunch of strangers. I do think Southampton played well. Ultimately, we flattered them a lot. There was times where, they broke 4v5, we broke 4v5, but the difference is we didn't look like we was gonna hurt them, people. I don't think we could keep up. We could cope with their press. Poor pressing, struggling with 5-yard passes, aimless long balls. We had 2 bits of joy in wide areas and we stopped doing that. It was just poor. We struggled to get out of our own half for periods as well. It was just a poor game. Obviously, the changes we made 7 changes. You are going to lose a lot of fluidity. And like I said, we know we need Southampton. We know we need to make rotations. It's a long season, but it's almost like Arsenal can't afford that luxury, because when Partey drops out, obviously Aubameyang's missing through personal problems, and hopefully there's a positive outcome. But when you're losing the Aubameyang's, form or not, the Aubameyangs, the Parteys, Saka isn't starting, Smith Rowe is nowhere to be seen. You're always going to have problems. And I do think, Arteta didn't necessarily, not that he disrespected the cup, but I don't think he took it as seriously as I would have liked to have seen, especially because we're defending. You just look at it, you're going against... Almost. Apologies. You're going against a Southampton team that run a lot, So almost you can't really go into it with your players that are lacking match fitness, and Eddie hasn't. I get why you want to give Eddie a chance for numerous reasons, but could it have been worth starting Lacazette and taking off Eddie? Because I know you feel personally you like him and he's hard done by, he's not getting minutes, but at the same time, we're here to win football matches. It doesn't matter about these footballers' individual feelings like that. It's about the result. And I don't think playing Eddie and Nketiah gives us the best chance of winning that game. So you went with Eddie, you didn't play Partey. Obviously, without Tierney and Saka, we've lost a lot, to put it nicely. There's no Smith Rowe. We're going to lose a lot of fluidity in that regards, and a lot of any little bit of creativity we had. I do think we could have played a stronger team. Obviously, we know he would have, he's going to play a stronger team again on Tuesday, and we need to get a result. Obviously, as well, as much as I feel Arteta could have done better selections, or we're just talking about it, the players themselves, and not to name several players, but, players that played, they're the reason, we've got into a decent run of form. There isn't going to be too many opportunities to show Arteta that he should be thinking about playing you. Not one of those players there that hasn't been playing on a regular basis played well yesterday. They didn't seize their opportunities. Some are frustrating, some are never in the game, whether they're bought for 72 or they are age 32. I don't know. The less said about some, the better. Players didn't take their chances, and ultimately, we defeated ourselves before they defeated us, because again, it was just a case of cheap mistakes. These are lessons we should have learned when we played Southampton, because the same themes have been there 9 times out of 10, and also we conceded early. Also, people, if you just briefly, again, this will probably be the shortest use of this. There actually isn't much need for this, people. As you can see, we're in the blue, and I actually can't find 2 of these, so these are us. I've tried to exaggerate and do their 4-4-2. Now, again, I don't have the facilities to do it, but it's not exactly always a 4-4-2. Sometimes it's changing to a 4-2-4. Southampton's lineup is great. It changes to about 3 formations within one. But I think one problem Arsenal had, now, obviously, this is our lineup, and I've tried to keep them in both halves to make the example a bit easier, people. But naturally, when Leno's got the ball, what do you see? Fullback split. Centre halves get wide, obviously making an option. Naturally, these guys will be further up the field. You shouldn't be there. Obviously, he can go deep and receive, but ideally, you want your creative man either in these either there or in these half pockets. Because in an ideal world, your 2 midfielders should be able to take it, receive it, turn, and then look to feed him or feed the front 4, basically. These 3 and my man here. So naturally, this is what you see, people. You see one centre midfielder stay, because not both need to go. One will probably go to collect. And we struggled with that, If it wasn't going to be El Nene for that goal, it was going to be somebody else, because Southampton did a very good pressing job on us, and it really didn't allow us any joy in that regards, people. Literally, just from simply them pressing, very aggressively, they were forcing us into mistakes, people. They pressed us like a 4-2-4. They backed their fullbacks in. Their fullbacks were high and wide, as you saw with Bertrand, and Kyle Walker-Peters was involved in a goal, people. They backed their fullbacks and they pressed us aggressively. And you could see literally that wherever it went, the ball is hot potato. We're under sustained pressure. We're literally just giving it back to them. Like you saw in the first half, people, we're just gifting possession back. We're in our own half. And that, I can't even remember directly how that goal happened, people, but I can try. I remember El Nene lost the ball, and in the build-up, El Nene could have, it could have been worse. And like I said, El Nene needs to hold his hands for the stupidness he was doing. But if it wasn't El Nene, it was going to be somebody else, people. It really was. Like, it was that simple. Moving away from that quickly. Let me quickly do this for you. I wish I had. We ain't got the mad technology with the Sky Sports technology, people, but I can paint a picture for you guys. Now, the goal we conceded is terrible, people, because it's come from a throw-in. Like, it's come from a throw-in. El Nene's got caught. We're blue there, bro. Not to scale, of course, people. And again, missing out some vital steps. But as you could see, people, it's our throw-in. Long story short, it's our throw-in. I think somebody's actually there. He's onside, I keep forgetting. Yeah, we're the guys in the blue, people. Apologies. I'm so used to Arsenal being the home team. But yeah, you had somebody probably about there. Now, literally, people, if you remember, where it's our throw. Remember, we're in blue. Yeah, it's our throw. Ball's gone to El Nene. They're probably more like this, to be fair. And there was someone, like I said, not to scale. But El Nene's dwelled in possession, people. El Nene's probably about here, to put it more realistically. El Nene's dwelt in possession. He's tried to clear it eventually. They've sucked it off him. So El Nene's in the wrong for losing the ball here anyways, people. He should have just got out his feet, realised this long, either go back quickly and ask him to hoof it or hoof it. He's tried to do either or. In them few seconds, El Nene's pocket has been picked. Eventually, players switched over to this hand side now. Now, obviously, this is where maybe, Martinelli could come in shot. Maybe Martinelli could have closed him down. Maybe Cedric could have got out there a bit more. Again, not to scale, but we don't, innit? Obviously, Kyle Walker-Peters eventually puts a ball in. You see what happens with Gabriel. That touch misadvertently takes it away from Leno. So we could then, again, attribute some of the blame to I think it's fundamentally El Nene's fault personally, but again, he might not be alone in that. I also think yesterday highlighted, what happens when you don't have midfielders that want the ball consistently. Like, midfielders wanting the ball is we shouldn't be talking about it. You need to show for it. I think Xhaka, I see everything kind of runs through him in the team, and you're always playing danger when you rely on someone as mediocre as that to that standard, with all due respect. He'll go through moments where he looks amazing. When he's playing a team like Southampton, where you don't have much time on the ball, he's going to struggle. And then they don't offer for the ball much. And to be fair, there were stages in that game, if you watch the game again, both midfielders are kind of hiding people. There is problems in that regard. I like Partey, but as much as that, I do it myself, people. Sorry, we can move this back now. You see when Partey, what was the last game we played, people? What was the last game? Newcastle. We're praising Partey for playing balls over the top. As much as I love Partey, that tells you Arsenal were in the gutter. Because a midfielder, for me, that plays for Arsenal or any of these top 6 teams, you should be able to get the ball out of your feet, ping a lovely weighted pass that players can run onto. Also on that topic as well, yesterday the final ball wasn't good enough. When we're playing it to our fullbacks, they're playing it in behind, they're trying to, it's under hit, so they're having to break their stride and all of these sort of things. It weren't there really. It was calamity. And for me, I'll say it now and I'll say it again, and I'll do the preview for the Southampton Premier League game tomorrow, people. So make sure you're aware of any live stream or you're checking, because I know the tactical things do you dirty. I mean, the notifications do you dirty. For me, learn your mistakes, because we knew going into this game, what have you lot been saying in all the live streams building up? What did I say in my preview? I simply just went back, watched the 1-1 draw against Southampton, for the themes. And yet again, we conceded very early on into the game, within the first half an hour. Yet again, we couldn't have beat that aggressive press. So we didn't learn our lessons from the last week. Can we learn our lessons this week is all I simply ask, people, because a mistake made more than once starts to become a choice. It's as simple as that, people. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that really isn't the case, man. And that's it, all of our people. That's it. As good as Southampton's game plan is, and all the plaudits Hasenhüttl deserves it. We played in. It was more of a case of us shooting ourselves in the foot, in my humble opinion. But what do I know? I agree with what you're saying, though, man. I just think it was the players, man. It was just the players. Literally just the players in that regards, people. Really. Of the selections, but mainly I'd say the selection of some of those players, it killed our fluidity. But I think the players had enough. Listen, regardless of we still had enough to offer Southampton more problems than we did. And I personally feel, if I'm a number of these players that are not in, and the majority of you are not in our, like Leno, off the top of my head, who makes the strongest lineup? Holding might have a claim based on how he's played. Off the top of my head, it's only Leno. Really and truly, off the top of my head, people. None of you, maybe Cedric off the last game, really. None of you really played where you could say, okay, I'm going to complicate things. Arteta has to leave me out. Like I keep saying, it's too easy for Arteta to pick the lineup if everybody's fit. There's no real headaches. The only real headaches you've had is Saka giving you headaches, Smith Rowe now getting into it, and these things there. It's too easy. And some of these players, you should have played well. Don't you want the plaudits? Certain man, get your first goal. Go and get the first goal for this club. You're touching how many months now? It's in the new year. You signed in August. You still ain't scored your first goal for this football club. What's going on there? It's ridiculous. Some of you are being kept out of lineups by 19-year-old kids, essentially. Is what it is, man. Is what it is, and I've dropped my tactics board, but it is what it is. I feel that big sell, but I think that's the same. I feel the different, the reverse of that. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel that harmed Martinelli. I feel they both, like, obviously you talk about relationships on the field. Cedric is not a left back. Yeah, Arteta can tell us he plays there till he's blue in the face, but he's not a left back. He's not that. That's not him. And you saw it. Martinelli, again, you saw the partnership weren't there. Pepe and Bellerin, we know that's not the best partnership as well. So again, is there a bit more we can do in terms of gelling and things like that? Like you said, takes too many touches. That's why he's amazing when he's got bare time. I like Xhaka, but for me, I don't know about anybody else. I personally believe the best midfielders, or the best players in general, but best midfielders, they not only see the picture before it's happened, they do things in less touches. Logically speaking, nobody wants to. It's work hard, it's work smart, not hard, right? Why, if you can do something in 2 touches, why would you do it in 4? Do you get it? That's what the best midfielders do, in my humble opinion. What do I know? I'm just here on YouTube and things like that. Shady has said, give us your starting lineup, DG, please. Hey, you're gonna have to wait tomorrow for that one, my guy. You're gonna have to wait till tomorrow, that my guy. Please don't spam. You've said in the last 7 matches, Arsenal won 5 with Eddie playing no part. Eddie plays in the other 2. Arsenal draw 1 and lose 1. Arteta yet to learn his lessons. Well, maybe starting Eddie, there's a proof in that, but let's be sensible now. As much as we can talk about Eddie being poor, El Nene's mistake, Xhaka this, that, and the other, what I personally don't like is moving like it's one player's fault for us getting that result. Because take away El Nene's mistake, take away Eddie and Nketiah not taking his chances. Did every other one of those footballers, I could say Leno, but did every one of those footballers do everything they could to get a positive result? No. We win, lose, and draw together. There's 11 men on that football field. So as much as I see where you're coming from, I think that's a bit of nonsense. Please stop spamming. Please stop spamming. We'll soon introduce the more you spam. We're not reading out spammers, man. It's too late for that. It's Sunday, brother. It's almost 9 o'clock on Sunday over these sides. 8:40. Relax, broski. Bro, the next 11 games is lower table position. Boy. To be fair, Shady, who knows, man? It all depends. I'd love him to be, but he's going through family problems. Very few things are more important than football, but that is. And if he is going through that, then, let's put some other man into this team, let him deal with what he needs to deal with personally. Come on, my guy. I appreciate that, man. Respect that, my guy, man. Problem is Eddie, Willian, and Pepe are not levels, and they all play together. That's it, man. As we can see, we know it's catch-22 because we know we need to rotate team players. We know we need rotation, but when we try and rotate, there's an issue. Someone has said near 100 away from 32k DG. It feels like I've taken forever to get to 32,000. It feels like the growth of my channel is slowing down. It must be because my channel's dead or something, but it is what it is. We keep moving, people, regardless, man. Aaron has said, I've been aired, man. Why do people always take this thing personally? The world don't revolve around them. Big up yourself, Ben. I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. Whatever you said. Pepe, Willian, and El Nene have never performed to their best unless for the United game. El Nene was good. Well, to be fair with you, Pepe had the FA Cup run. El Nene shown a bit of form again. That's what I tell you. Look, where there's bare hot and cold players in our team. There's hot and cold players. There's players that 5 games they run it, next 5 they're not. There's only a handful, literally just about 7 players that I feel you're 9 times out of 10 on this. If your name is not Saka, Gabriel, Martinelli, Partey, Tierney, if I haven't said that, Leno, and historically Aubameyang is probably that. There's other, Lacazette plays well in form, Pepe plays well in form. Not that I'm saying we should direct it all at William, but the one luxury those 2 names have is at least I've seen a bit of hotness. I've just seen bare coldness from William, so is what it is. Aaron, who said he got aired, said thoughts on Milik. Think we missed out there since Lyon are getting him for very cheap, like 10 mil or something. Wasn't he meant to be going Marseille? Let me type his name in Google. I could be wrong. It's just the injury probably shagged him. He's a good player, but it's probably the injury shagged him, and that's probably why people aren't taking a look on him. So yeah, I swear, yeah, he's joined Marseille on loan. So I'm not too sure what Lyon are doing with him, or if there's some news I don't know about. But big up yourself, regardless, my guy. And they said, DG, I'm curious, what happens when Ødegaard goes back to Madrid? What do Arsenal do then? Well, they have to go and find the next man, innit? And that's what I'm saying. You need to factor in. One reality is that you might get Ødegaard to stay, but if he says I don't want to stay, go and find another creative man. Unless you're Lionel Messi or Messi or Ronaldo, anyone can be replaced. So go out there and scout, man. They lack it, man. They're just not levels, Big Celt, man. They're just not levels, man. They're just not levels at all. Like, I don't know what it is. Some days they're on it, sometimes they're not at it, and things like that. Bro, the world doesn't revolve around you. I'm not specifically looking for Mr. Aaron Baker comments. I've answered your comment regardless. It doesn't mean whether you've answered it twice in 10 minutes or anything else, I'll get to it when I get to it. If I can't get to it, I can't get to it. I can't answer everyone's question. Don't take it personal, my guy. Just calm down. These sort of things really get me annoyed because it's a free service. Calm down. I'm not here to just answer your specific questions, man. Just relax. Anyways, moving away from that, Dow Square said, big up, my guy. I'm smashing that like button right now. I appreciate that. Colin has said, Arteta gave the underperforming players yet another chance and they let him down again. In my opinion, them man were finished against Everton. True. Clear to see we wasted 72 mil quid. So let's just plan for the future. Can't take away with anything you're saying there, my guy. Really and truly. I have to ask Deluded, changing topic. Are you a FIFA or pro? Man, your tactics make sense. I'm guessing pro. Historically pro. PS2 days pro. Since these next gen consoles come out, it can never be pro. It has to be FIFA, man. It is what it is. Ødegaard is from my hometown, and in our local newspaper, they're saying he's in London now. So again, boom, shout out to Ødegaard for being in London now. And tomorrow it says there's a medical for him, so we'll see more movement in that regards, people. So hopefully, the more we can prove, man. Bro, I don't know, Zanzi, man. I don't know, but people must think I'm just sat here doing a mazza. Like Peter has said, love and prosperity, people. James, maybe I am nice, man. Because there's a lot of you that are very nice, man. But some people overdo it, fam. Like, I don't understand it. Like, relax, man. Taking it personal. Apparently, he is on his way to Monaco, but until I see more concrete evidence, who knows? Angio has said, great loan, risk-free. If he does well, I'll fancy will try to sign Ødegaard in the summer. People wouldn't be moaning about it, in my opinion. All I care about if he plays well, man. All I care about is if he plays well. If he plays well, it is what it is. Edgar said, at least we beat Tottenham yesterday. And to be fair, I've done via StreamYard as well. I've done the youth report reviews, as whatever you want to refer to them as. I've done the under 18s and the 23. So probably bring them out tomorrow, maybe later today. I'd say tomorrow. I was trying to let you lot get time to catch up with all the other content. But yeah, man, and it was a fantastic hat-trick from Balogun. Our under-18s ran riot. Amari Hutchinson, Zayn Monlouise got on the score sheet. It was a very good game from our under-18s, man. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to have good careers either here or elsewhere. I really love that group of players, man. Anyone know his play number? Well, I was seeing people somehow found the man's father's number. So it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I think for now you're right, man. Maybe Pepe going over to the left hand side would be better. There's less options for him. You can't cut in and do all these things. You either take your man in, whip the cross in, or have to pass it 9 times out of 10. So who knows what's going to happen in that regards, man. Something just tells me give him a run and we might see a bit better form. But I've given up. If your name is not Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Tierney, Partey, Leno, Gabriel, then really and truly, like, I don't really believe in you, innit? Like, they're the only players I have any expectation on because they're the only ones that seem to get it. The others, you might play well for 2 games, you might suck for the other, you might put in a positive performance, but I've accepted it in it because you're not showing me any different. I've accepted this is all I'm seeing from Pepe, from Willian. I'm gonna see a good game and then a dodgy game from Bellerin and Maitland-Niles and Xhaka and El Nene and. Pardon me, I like Holding, but Holding's got to get thrown in there as well. Aubameyang's got to get thrown in there because he's not really scoring goals this year. I've got a lot of time for Lacazette, but I don't know what Lacazette week to week. Eddie comes from Halen. I don't know what Eddie I'm going to see. The Eddie that I saw come back initially from Leeds, I saw one that looked like he's going to do something. Now, you're not looking the same. Joe Willock, he's not really played a part. There's no point screaming his name and things like that. But you've got him there, so we'll have to see what happens in that regard. Martinelli made good runs off the ball, and he wasn't being picked out. But even Martinelli, I keep it trill. Like he was poor yesterday as well. Like everybody, really. Like Leno, really. Like it's only Leno, really. Like everyone else could have done better in their regards. Big up yourself, Feetly TV. What have you said? This, I feel, will be another Suarez. Ødegaard had 9 matches and a history of injuries, already injured. Hopefully it's not the case, my guy. And you've also said, I'm raising awareness for liver disease on my YouTube channel whilst following football. Can you do a shout out? Shout out to you, my guy. Make sure you show him some love and check out him, man. He's doing that for a very important cause. Love for the super chat, my guy, and take care of yourself. So, yeah. What's the situation with Reece? Is he still in Arteta's plans? Well, I don't know, my guy, but at the same time, he needs to go and get game time. There was loan reports earlier in the week when I was doing my live streams about going somewhere in the Championship. Ideally, I agree with what you probably said to your computer. I'd rather him go to the Prem, to Germany, to France, any sort of top game or whatever, but top league, sorry, or whatever. But I'm not gonna lie. You know, you need game time, and I'd rather you play in the Championship than play once in every 20 games at Arsenal. You know, we complicate football. At the end of the day, it's just a bunch of players running around the field. You can learn elsewhere. You know, some man say don't go League Two and do all of these things. I'm not saying with Nelson, but look where Calvert-Lewin's got, where, you know, some of Calvert-Lewin's journey to get to being a footballer at Everton. Look at Vardy's, look at Kane's. Then you've obviously got people like Rashford, who it was just really a straightforward trajectory. Everybody's journey to developing and becoming that player is different. So we'll have to see. I think the Ozil in his heyday, the Ozil in his prime is without a doubt world class. This Ozil of today is not world class, but he's still a top footballer. Is the pathway there under Arteta? Only time will tell, my guy, really, because who's he blooded? You know, really. He's given Eddie chances. He's playing Smith Rowe, and he's really giving Smith Rowe an opportunity. Of course, Saka's always playing from strength to strength, and Martinelli's finally getting a look in. But I guess at the same time, you know, there's not been one and it's harsh because, you know, all these guys were there before, so he can't give any debuts. There's not really been one he's taken from the academy and said, yo, you're my guy, you're playing. So I guess that's what people are wondering. Do you think TJJ can make it at Arsenal? Tyrese John Jules, I think he has every chance of making it at Arsenal if he's given a chance. So yeah, man, we've been here an hour and 10 minutes, people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get out of here on that note though, people. It's late Sunday, we've got a busy week, so yeah, I'm gonna get out of it. It's been an hour and 10 minutes, but it's been lovely chatting to you lot. Please make sure you hit the like button, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll be back again tomorrow, probably around 11:30 a.m. or there onwards, so please make sure, if YouTube isn't going to notify you, that you're paying attention in that regards. On that note though, I'm gonna get out of here. No, it's not even a chicken wings thing, my guy. It's not even a chicken wings thing, my guy. You said, what have you said? Big up to the show and everyone here. Is there work in the making for a 10-minute a day show on Hinge, like real news and transfers on AFT on Arsenal? AFTV don't for me. To be fair, I don't know, man. I normally do a lot of content. Who knows, man? Who knows? It's something I can look into. Big up all of you lot, man. Love to see you lot. Hope to see you lot again. But yeah, man, I'll catch you lot soon. Big up Shady from Amsterdam as well. It's a shame I can't go there anymore because of Corona and them thing there, because I'd love to be there. But yeah, man, you lot have a good night. You know, Arsenal fans, don't watch Match of the Day. I won't. And I'll see you lot again, man. Hopefully by the next time I'm live, 11 a.m. Who knows? Ødegaard might be officially an Arsenal player on loan. But until then, hit the like button for me, please, people. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you've got any additional comments, don't hesitate to comment such. I'm out.